Hello, right, hi, I'm Biohacking Bains, and I want to talk to you about the difference between glucose burning and fat burning. So there's two engines inside your body. One burns glucose. Glucose is sugars, carbs, and starches. So they all get turned into glucose, and so your body takes that in and burns it, and that's where you get your energy from. And on the other side, you've got fat burning, which is taking all the different fats that come into your body and then converting them into fuel and and ketones, and then burning that. So let's look at the difference between the two and how they operate inside your body. So when you digest carbs and starches, it takes 20 to 30% energy to process that and to store that, to digest it. So if you ate 100 calories of carbs, 20 to 30% of those calories, or 20 to 30 of those calories, will get used for digestion. Whereas on the other hand, if you're fat burning, then the body's a lot more efficient. It can do it with 3 to 5% fat. So that's one difference. So your body's a lot more efficient at digesting fats, and one of the reasons for that is because you've got something in your body called a gallbladder, and a gallbladder stores the bile from the liver, and it has only one function, and that is to digest fats. So when you eat a high fat diet, you activate the gallbladder, and that then sends concentrated bile, which is basically acid, into your stomach to digest the fats. And so if you don't activate the gallbladder on a regular basis, you could end up with gallbladder stones, because what the gallbladder does, it concentrates the bile into acid, and so it gets more and more concentrated. And if you don't flush that because you're not eating enough fat, then eventually you will end up with gallstones. And what they do in the modern world is they will remove your gallbladder, and once they remove your gallbladder, it doesn't actually affect you because you're not using it. So the gallbladder is just there if you're fat burning. So that's one difference. Also now, so how much energy, how many calories can your body store? So if you're glucose burning, your liver stores the glucose, and it can store a maximum of about 2,000 calories. This is why you run out of glucose quite quickly, because 2,000 isn't that many calories, and so this is why you need to eat regularly, like every 6 hours or 8 hours or something, right? Because you run out of your glucose stores. If you're fat burning, on the other hand, your body has a very large battery, let's call it a battery, and that battery can be 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 calories, depending on how fat you are. So when you're fat burning or in ketosis, you don't need to eat so regularly because you've got so many calories. So when you're in ketosis, you have access to a vast battery of 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 calories. So you don't need to eat so often. So if you miss a meal or miss a day of not eating, it doesn't really matter under ketosis. Yeah. So when you're glucose burning, under glucose burning, you need a lot more calories because you need to eat regularly. So you need to eat every 6 to 8 hours. And what that does is it stops you being able to shut down your digestive system. Now your digestive system uses up between 40 to 60% of the energy your body produces. And so if you're eating 3-4 meals a day, your digestive system never gets a chance to shut down. And so therefore you need almost twice as many calories as somebody who's fat burning. So if you're fat burning, you only need to eat 1 meal a day, and that's it. That gives you your calorie intake for the day. And also, because you're fat burning, because you're only having 1 meal, therefore then your digestive system gets a chance to shut down. And so even though your body's still producing all that energy, most of the time it's not going into the digestive system. So you get a lot of more energy in your mind and your body, because now 40 to 60% isn't being directed to your digestive system. The other difference between fat burning and glucose burning is that glucose in the blood causes acidic. It makes your blood more acidic, and that causes inflammation. And inflammation is what gives us all our diseases. So, for example, diabetes, high blood pressure, dementia, Alzheimer's, cancer, all these diseases, low blood pressure, all these diseases that we have are all caused by inflammation. And what causes inflammation? Well, there's several things that cause inflammation. Stress, yeah. Glucose, any kind of starches, glucose causes inflammation because it makes your blood acidic. The other one is bad fats, so like margarine or vegetable oils, all those things, or any oil that you've burnt becomes rancid, becomes a bad fat, and that will cause inflammation in your body. On the other hand, things that get rid of inflammation are good fats. So eggs contain good fats, avocados, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, all the good fats reduce inflammation. So if you have high blood pressure, for example, this is caused by a lot of inflammation in your arteries, and so you can reduce that by eating high-fat foods, good quality fats, right? So if you're glucose burning, you need to eat on a regular basis, and it also causes inflammation, and it also needs a lot more energy for you to digest carbs. If you're fat burning, it gets rid of inflammation, and you have a much bigger battery behind you, so you don't need to eat so often, so you can allow your digestive system to shut down. And when your digestive system shuts down, your body can go into something called autophagy. It can turn on something called autophagy, which then starts healing and repairing your body. So under ketosis, your body is naturally designed to heal and repair itself. So now here's the other thing with so if you're carb burning and you're trying to move into ketosis, so you can only have but now here's the bad news, right? So that you can only have one engine running. You can either have the carb engine running if there's insulin, if there's too much sugar in your blood and there's too much insulin, you can only run the carb-based engine. Once the insulin in your blood drops below a certain level, now your body is able to fire up the fat-burning engine. But as soon as you eat carbs and your sugar level goes up, insulin goes up as well, and then that shuts down the carb engine. So this is why when you go to ketosis, you have to keep the amount of carbs as low as possible, less than 20 grams ideally, maybe 5 grams or 10 grams, but the lower you can bring it, the more likely you are to stay in ketosis. So I'm Biohacking Joe Bains, so you can follow me everywhere. Thank you.